Good evening, children. Hello, how are you all? Welcome to all of you for another very easy, very super cool, very awesome and very brilliant, you can say absolutely brilliant class on immunity, right? So in this chapter, in the earlier videos, we have learned about different diseases like the ascariasis, like filariasis, like cholera, like malaria, disease that is caused by Salmonella typhi, right? All this we have already learned in the videos which I have already sent you earlier, right? आज का जो पूरा अपना लेक्चर है that will be only and only on immunity. We are going to study only one topic today, and that is immunity. Okay, now what can you see in this picture? Can you see the picture? The body is stopping the viruses to enter the body, right? You can see these are the viruses. So the body is stopping the viruses to enter the body, right? So in today's class, I'll be explaining you that how to stop or how to prevent the entry of the pathogens or the disease causing microorganisms in our body. Till now we have studied about different diseases, but आज के क्लास में मैं सिखाऊंगी कि हम कैसे वायरसेस को, पैथोजेंस को या फिर और एलर्जेंस को अपनी बॉडी में एंटर करने से प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो शैल वी स्टार्ट विथ आवर क्लास टुडे? फाइन. Now the first most question is, what is immunity? What is immunity? Can anybody guess? Let me tell you. Immunity is the protection that I get from my birth. Okay, it is the protection of ourselves. Sometimes the protection I get is from birth, and sometimes I acquire it during my lifetime. Okay, so you can say that the immunity which we acquire during our lifetime is the the immunity that we acquire from our birth is the innate immunity. Okay, and the ability of the immune system to fight the disease causing organisms or the pathogens or the antigens is known as immunity. The immunity or the protection capacity that we get from our birth, okay, that is called innate immunity. And the another type of immunity which we acquire during our lifetime, हम हमारे जीवन काल में उसको एक्वायर करते हैं. ठीक है, वो हमारे पास पहले से नहीं है पर हम उसे एक्वायर करते हैं. उसे हम क्या कहेंगे? दैट इज एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी और इट इज एडेप्टिव इम्यूनिटी. नाउ यू नो, बीइंग ह्यूमन बीइंग्स वी आर इम्यून टू मेनी डिजीजेस. ठीक है, हमें वो सारे डिजीजेस नहीं होंगे जो कैट्स को होंगे, डॉग्स को होंगे, हॉर्स को होंगे, कैमल्स को होंगे. वाई? बिकॉज वी आर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स एंड वी आर immune to it. We are born with the capacity to fight some of the diseases, right? And that type of immunity which is present in our body from the time of birth, so this is called innate immunity, right? So immunity that is present in our body from the time of birth is known as innate immunity, right? कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी है जो मेरे बॉडी में पहले से प्रेजेंट है, राइट? दैट इज कॉल्ड इन्नेट इम्यूनिटी. एज आई एम ह्यूमन बीइंग, आई एम born with different types of capacities to fight against the disease causing microorganisms. That is called innate immunity, right? Whereas there are some of the things that I need to develop in my body during my lifetime, and that is called the acquired immunity, right? कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी है जो एक्टिव है, जिसे अगर मुझे पाना है तो मुझे मेहनत मशक्क़त करनी पड़ेगी, राइट? दैट इज़ कॉल्ड एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी. और कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी है जो मुझे मेरी झोली में आकर गिर गई है, ठीक है, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड द इन्नेट इम्यूनिटी, right? So we will start with the first type of immunity, that is innate immunity, right, in which you have to remember the important word is inborn. This is very important, inborn, right? Now innate immunity is present from the time of birth, so that is called innate immunity, and it is non-specific defense. My dear children, let me explain you what is this non-specific. ठीक है, non-specific का मतलब क्या? हम जब पैदा होते हैं, when we take birth, we have many things in our body. We have skin, we have tears, we have saliva, we have HCl in our stomach, right? So we are born with all these things, right? Now taking an example of saliva, अगर हमारी बॉडी में HIV वायरस, ह्यूमन इम्यूनो डेफिशिएंसी वायरस, जो एड्स कॉज करता है, वो अगर बॉडी में आएगा, सो आवर सलाइवा विल टेल दैट नो नो दिस इज़ वेरी हार्मफुल वायरस और दिस इज़ वेरी हार्मफुल पैथोजन, आई विल नॉट अलाउ दिस पैथोजन टू एंटर माई बॉडी. और फिर निमोनिया का पैथोजन है तो क्या सलाइवा ऐसे बोलेगा कि ये थोड़ा कम हार्मफुल है, चलो आ जाओ तुम मेरी बॉडी में. या फिर विब्रियो कोलेरा, ठीक है, जो कोलेरा कॉज करता है वो और भी लेस हार्मफुल है, तो क्या सलाइवा ऐसे सोचेगा ये तो और कम हार्मफुल है. सो कोलेरा, विब्रियो कोलेरा कैन कम, इवन निमोनिया कैन नॉट कम, HIV कैन नॉट कम इन अ बॉडी. नो, इट इज़ नॉट लाइक दैट. Okay, it is non-specific, it doesn't allow any pathogen to enter our body, right? So I hope you have understood the meaning of this. It is non-specific defense and it is present from the time of birth. जब से हम पैदा होते हैं तब से ये इम्यूनिटी हमारी बॉडी में होता है. Okay, now it provides barrier. How does this immunity work? By providing the barriers, okay, and these barriers will prevent the entry of foreign agents in our body. It doesn't allow the foreign particles to enter our body, and the barriers are of 4 types. 4 टाइप के barriers है, ठीक है. सबसे पहला क्या है? It is physical barrier. Number 2 is the physiological barrier. Number 3 is the cellular barrier, and number 4 is the cytokine barrier. Okay, let us start with the first type of barrier, that is the physical barrier. Okay, the first type of innate immunity barrier is the physical barrier. Okay, skin is the first line of defense. Each and every individual is born with the skin. जो person or the people with burned skin or which have cuts in their skin, they are more likely to get the diseases in their body. Why? Because through that cuts the pathogens can enter the body and it can cause the disease, right? So skin is the first line of defense. It prevents the antigen, it prevents the foreign bodies, it prevents the foreign particles, or you can say it prevents the germs to enter our body, right? And second thing is the mucus. Many important tracts in our body, okay, their epithelium has the lining, epithelial lining has the covering of the mucus, okay, and that mucus, it traps the pathogen, or it blocks the entry of the pathogen. It doesn't allow the foreign particles to enter the body. And that important tracts are the respiratory tracts, gastrointestinal, that is digestive tract, यूरिनोजेनाइटल ट्रैक्ट. ओके, तो इन सब ट्रैक्ट्स के लाइनिंग में क्या है? म्यूकस है, जो फॉरेन पार्टिकल्स को क्या करेगा? ट्रैप कर देगा, और वो फॉरेन पार्टिकल्स को हमारी बॉडी में एंटर नहीं होने देगा. एंड विद दिस द इम्यूनिटी विल बी प्रोवाइडेड, आवर बॉडी विल बी प्रोटेक्टेड फ्रॉम डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ डिजीज कॉजिंग माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स. है ना, बड़ा इजी चैप्टर and interesting also. Okay, now let us move to the second type of barrier. The first type of barrier, that is skin and mucus, it is non-living. ठीक है, skin क्या है? Skin is made up of the dead cells, right? So it is non-living, right? Mucus is the sticky substance that traps the pathogen. Again, it is non-living. But here, the physiological barrier are the living cells. Okay, the living cells provides the barrier, or it creates the barrier for the entry of the pathogens in our body, right? Say for example, gastric HCl, hydrochloric acid. It is secreted in our stomach by the gastric cells. Okay, or by the parietal oxyntic cells, which are living cells, right? So living cells secrete hydrochloric acid, and this hydrochloric acid in turn kills the microbes, or it prevents the growth of the microbes, right? Saliva, it is secreted by salivary glands, and it contains lysozyme enzyme, which kills the microbes, which doesn't allow the microbial growth and provides the barrier. Tear also contains lysozyme, which kills the pathogen and does not allow the microbes to grow, right? So physical barriers are the barriers which are being provided by the living cells, okay, whereas physiological barriers are the barriers that were being provided by the non-living things or non-living cells, right? Now, so children, skin, it is the first line of defense, and it prevents the entry of pathogens in our body, and all human beings are born with the skin, so it is the innate immunity. Even the mucus lining, which covers the epithelial lining of the major tracts, that is respiratory tract, urinogenital tract, the digestive tract. It traps the dirts and microbes and doesn't allow the pathogen to enter the body and to cause the disease. So that was the physical barrier. If we talk of the physiological barrier, then the gastric HCl, saliva, tears, right? What is this? Even the good gut bacteria, okay, right? So gastric HCl, which has low pH and it kills the pathogen. Saliva has the lysozyme enzyme, that is antibacterial enzyme, that will kill the bacteria. And even the tears have the lysozyme, that is antibacterial enzyme, which kills the bacteria and doesn't allow the disease to cause in our body, right? So that was all about the physiological barrier. Now we will start with the third type of innate immunity barrier, that is the cellular barrier. ठीक है ना, cellular means cells जो हमारी body में है, that provides the immunity, right? Now there are different types of leukocytes, phagocytes, okay, like WBCs, like neutrophils, eosinophils, right? Then monocytes, then lymphocytes. All these are the cells which kills the microbes, which doesn't allow the pathogens to enter the body, right? And say for example, if there are any allergens entering in our body, then there will be increase in number of eosinophils, right, in order to decrease the number of allergens, okay. So what is that? The cells are increasing and providing the immunity, so that is cellular barrier. Okay, there are B lymphocytes, there are T lymphocytes in our body, which produces the B lymphocytes that produces the antibodies and kills the foreign particles and provides the immunity. Neutrophils are the cells which forms the first line of defense, okay, and it kills the pathogens that enters the body, right? So neutrophils, polymorphonuclear leukocytes, PMNL, then monocytes, natural killer cells, lymphocytes, macrophages, they all phagocytize the cells. Phagocytize means they will engulf the foreign particles and they will kill that pathogens. They will not allow that pathogens to increase in number and to cause the disease. Right? So that was all about the cellular barriers. The cells of our body will form the barrier and will kill the pathogens. Now the fourth type of barrier is the cytokine barrier. Let me explain you this in very detail. Suppose this is a cell and it is infected by the virus. ठीक है, तो हम इसको नाम देते हैं वायरस इन्फेक्टेड सेल. Okay, and there are the neighboring cells. Suppose A, B and C, these are the neighboring cells. So we'll label it as other cells. Right? Now as this cell is being infected by the virus, this cell will die. Slowly and gradually this cell will die. तो ये सेल क्या सोचेगा कि मैं तो गया बट मैं अपने नेबरिंग सेल्स को कैसे बचाऊं, मैं अपने नेबरिंग सेल्स के लिए क्या करूं कि वो लोग बच जाए. सो व्हाट विल दिस सेल डू, दिस वायरल इन्फेक्टेड सेल, इट विल रिलीज द केमिकल that is called interferon. It is called interferon. By the release of this interferon by the virus infected cell, the neighboring cells A, B and C will be protected. ठीक है, तो ये सेल क्या सोचेगा, मैं तो गया बट भाई तुम तो बच जाओ, भाई तुम तो बच जाओ, भाई तुम भी बच जाओ. So how it will protect? By secreting the interferon, by releasing the interferon. Okay, so what is this cytokine barrier? It guards the neighboring cells. Okay, what does it do? It guards, it protects the neighboring cell. वो बोलेगा मैं तो गया भाई पर बाकी के जो cells है वो तो बच जाए. Right? So virus infected cells secrete a cytokine protein which is called interferon, and this interferon protects the non-infected cells from further viral infection, and that is called cytokine barrier. Clear? So this were all the four barriers of the innate immunity. Once again, immunity क्या है? खुद को प्रोटेक्ट करना, वो आपको पिक्चर याद रखना है ऐसा वाला जो है वो, ठीक है. टू प्रोटेक्ट आवर सेल्स फ्रॉम द फॉरेन पार्टिकल्स. ओके, इननेट में क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है? इनबॉर्न. राइट, इनबॉर्न का मतलब है जब से हमारा बर्थ होगा तब से ये इम्यूनिटी हमारे बॉडी में होगा. राइट, एंड ऑल द innate immunity is being provided by the four different types of barriers. The first barrier is the physical barrier, second barrier is the physiological barrier, third is the cellular barrier, and the fourth one is the cytokine barrier. Right? So children, we will stop here. In our next video we will be learning about the acquired immunity. I hope today's topic was very interesting for you and you all have understood it very nicely.